Okay, you must be ready, so let's get started. All right, the first page that you need to find, oops, wrong one. There we go. The first page you need to find, of course, is page 10. And you'll see this down here at the bottom. And when we read this, we're going to work on, like I said, main idea and details. Go ahead and kind of give me a bobblehead. Do you remember anything or ever heard the words main idea before? Yes, I'm hoping I see a lot of this out there because yes, main idea I know is something you heard in 2nd grade, you heard it in 3rd grade, and we've talked a little bit about it in 4th grade before. But main idea, remember, is like what something is mainly all about. What all of it is about. What's it trying to tell you? What's it trying to talk about? And then the details are just proof that that's really what it's talking about. But I'm going to kind of show you what they mean by that. So let's read this really quick little paragraph about Lewis and Clark, and we're going to figure out the main idea. And just to give you a little bit of background, if you don't know, Lewis and Clark were some really famous explorers. They explored the west part of America, because you remember we've talked in social studies how everybody was just on the east over there. That's where everybody kind of ended up at first, and then we started to explore out west. And Lewis and Clark were some of the explorers that went out there to check it out and see what it was like. So, all right, so let's learn about Lewis and Clark. All right, I'm going to give you a second to just kind of read this. So if Miss Charlotte needs to pause it, I'm going to let you guys maybe she can pick somebody that can read it out loud. This is so short, one person can probably read it for everybody. So Miss Charlotte can pause it while somebody reads it out loud. Okay. You guys did a good job reading that. Good job. All right, so we've read about Lewis and Clark and his faithful companion, that's Seaman. Yep, that was his name. Now, if you'll look on page 11, you're going to see the thing looks like this. It's like a chart for main idea and the details or the key details. Let me get my marker up and running. There we go. All right, so on this chart, they've already kind of got it started in your book. We just have to finish filling it out. So, all right, so they've already kind of decided that the main idea, what this little paragraph was all about, it wasn't really about Lewis and Clark. It was about their dog, wasn't it? Yeah, it was about Seaman and how he protected them. So the main idea was all about Lewis and Clark's dog, Seaman, and how he protected the explorers when they were working. They've already decided that. And the key details, like I said, are kind of the proof or the evidence that that's true. If we're saying that Seaman protected the explorers, I'm looking for things in the story that would prove that. Things that show that in the little paragraph we read. And they found one. They said, woo. Whoops, that wasn't what I meant to do. They said Seaman chased away a buffalo. That's showing that he protected them, chasing away that buffalo. So let's go back and look and see if we can find two other details, two other proof that proves that he's protecting them. Get that out of the way. All right, so in the paragraph, there's where it's talking about him chasing away the buffalo, so we can't use that one again. We need something else. Do you see anything else in here that's showing that he's protecting Lewis and Clark? Oh yeah, when it talks about the bear and how he barked and barked until the bear ran away. So yeah, that's something we can write. He barked until the bear ran away. Go ahead and write that as your second key detail in your book. He barked until the bear ran away. That was a key detail, shows he's protecting them. So go ahead and write that on your second key detail. Any other proof that he kind of protected them? Oh yeah, there it is. He also protected Lewis and Clark by making sure they had food. So yeah, we could say, yeah, Seaman protected Lewis and Clark by making sure they had food. Or we could even say Seaman protected them by making sure they had food. Because yeah, making sure somebody has enough food to eat is a way of protecting them. So that could be the two things that we write in our key details. Those two things should be wrote down on your key details page. I'll give you just a minute to finish writing those. Get rid of those. Alright, so you guys can kind of see how the main idea is what it's mainly all about. A lot of times your main idea will be stated first in whatever it is. If it's just a paragraph or even if it's a story, a lot of times the main idea will be stated or said near the very beginning. And then the details will all be listed after that somewhere. Just like in the paragraph about Seaman, the main idea was almost the very first sentence. And then the details were all after that to prove that he really did protect them. That's all main idea is, just what it's all about, and then you're finding some proof to prove that that's really what it was all about. Alright, so we're going to practice just a little bit more with that. So in that IREADY book, I'm pretty sure this is page 12. I don't have the page number on mine, but I'm pretty sure this is page 12. If it's not page 12, just make sure you're on the page that says The Snake and the Charmer. Make sure you're on this page. I think it was the very next page after it talked about Seaman, I'm pretty sure. Alright, so we're going to do the same thing. This one has about 3 paragraphs is all it has. It even has them numbered. 1, 2, 3. Miss Charlotte can pick some kids that can read this one for you. And when you get done reading it, we can talk about the main idea and the details of this story. We're going to practice it one more time. So I'll let Miss Charlotte pause this while you guys go ahead and read. All right. You've read about the snake and the charmer. Have you guys ever seen that like in a cartoon or even a movie or something where there's a snake charmer and the snake kind of follows the flute? Yeah. I didn't realize kind of what made it until I read this article. Now I know that, you know, the snake charmer's not really charming the snake, is he? No. We figured out their trick there. All right, so same thing. If you'll turn, you'll see this chart where we're going to talk about the snake and the charmer. And this time, I've got a visitor here. Sorry, guys. Do you want to see my visitor real quick before we finish? All right, he wants to see the camera. There's my visitor. Oh, he's not a happy visitor. He's being a whiny butt. All right, we're going to finish my class, though. My visitor can stay and watch, too. All right. Back to our lesson. Sorry for the interruption. All right, we are on this page, and if you can see that they've given you one of the details this time. They did not tell us the main idea. Yeah, they didn't tell us the main idea. And we need 2 more of the key details. They've given us 1 key detail, but we need to figure out the main idea. So I want you to think about that the story we just read about the snake. That's enough. The snake and the charmer. And I want you to think about that and try to figure out what it was mainly all about. Alright, so let's think. What was the main idea of that whole story about the snake and the charmer? What was each of these talking about? What do you guys think? Alright, yeah. I think it was talking about, it was kind of explaining how the snake and the charmer work. It was saying that he doesn't really charm the snake, does he? Yeah, he's not really charmed by the snake or by the snake charmer. It's more of a trick kind of, isn't it? So yeah, I think that's our main idea. we're going to say the main idea is snake charmers don't actually charm the snakes. That's the main idea. So if the main idea is that snake charmers don't actually charm snakes, then what were some key details that prove that? They've already figured one out, that the cobra sways to the motion of the flute as the snake charmer moves back and forth. That was one way that it's proving that. That's all the cobra's really doing. But can anybody find any other key details that would prove that they don't actually charm them? Let's go back and look. I'm going to move this away just so we can look. I'm looking. Well, there's something that says, in reality, nothing could be farther from the truth. The cobra can only sense vibrations on the ground. What the cobra sways to is not the music. It sways to the motion of the flute. Yeah. The cobra is trying to get into position to strike at the flute. There we go. So yeah, we know that he's not really swaying to the music. It says he's not. But he is trying to get into position to strike at the flute. That would be a good one to put. So let's all put that for this. All right, so we have the snake is trying to get into position to strike the flute as one of our key details. So make sure you've got that wrote down. You can copy it from right there. Alright, and then we're going to go back and see if we can find one more key detail that we can add to our chart, okay? Remember, we're looking for something that shows that the snake charmer is not actually charming the snakes, because that's what we said the main idea is. So let's go back, and I'm going to move this stuff out of the way so that we can see again. He's not really charming the snake. Oh. Here's one. However, as long as the snake charmer keeps the flute in motion, the snake cannot attack. So it's more proof that he's not really charming it. It's just he's following the flute. So yeah, as long as the snake charmer keeps the flute in motion, the snake cannot attack. That's what we're going to put on the next one. All right, there. So here we have our last key detail we thought of. You should have this copied down on your chart too. You guys are doing good at finding the main idea and the details. Okay, so we have practiced with our main idea and you guys are doing really good on the ones we practiced together. We're going to try some on our own now. You're going to read us some stories and answer some questions, and then you and Miss Charlotte are going to go over to see how you did, okay? Alright, so before I set you loose, remember, main idea, is what the whole thing is mainly about. What's it talking about? What's it trying to tell you? And then the key details are just the proof that that's really what it's talking about. So you're looking for sentences that will show that that's what you're talking about. Okay? All right. Good luck.